Welcome back to Success as a Real Estate Agent. We'll start off where we left off, which is closing the deal. Most sellers and buyers think of the agreement as a tricky part of the transaction and the closing as the part they can take pretty much for granted. Agents know otherwise. As an agent, your work isn't done and your payment teeters in the balance until you successfully complete this final challenging part of the real estate transaction. The closing involves an army of people. Using a different analogy, you're like the conductor of an orchestra. Control the instruments well and no wrong note will creep in. Work diligently during the negotiation period to see that the loan, title work, and the escrow or document preparation are handled by those on your own closing team. Make it your objective to direct the business to companies and individuals you know will perform in a timely, professional manner. This assures your clients good service and fewer surprises and reduces the time you and your staff invest in closing the transaction. Forming a closing team and working with the players. A good closing team can help you increase your prosperity by letting you efficiently wind up one deal and move on to the next. Following is the lineup of the players who make the closing a smooth process. The loan officer. The loan officer holds a front-line position on your closing team. This is the person who secures the appraiser, verifies the deposit of funds, verifies employment, and ideally completes the loan package for the buyers and within a few days of contract acceptance. Make sure the loan officer on your team is a great salesperson backed by a team that is highly organized and able to push transactions through to a seamless close. A good loan officer can smooth out problems before you even hear about them. Averting landmines and sparing your significant and time-consuming challenges, loan officers can add consumable value to your business, even beyond this sale closing. After you form a relationship with a loan officer, you can work in concert to land clients. You can follow up on leads together, or you can refer clients to each other, with both of you winning more businesses as a result of the relationship. The home inspector. The home inspector is hired to evaluate the condition of the property, spot current or potential defects, and give guidance regarding the proper remedies. You want to work with home inspectors who are thorough and who fully disclose all defects and items in need of repair without throwing gasoline on potential problems. Beware of the home inspector who is an alarmist. Look inside for someone who is reassembled Joe Friday with his just the facts, ma'am approach. You also want a home inspector who can quickly produce an easy to read report written in everyday, commonly understood language. If technical jargon is necessary, insists on plain English translations. Nothing concerns buyers more than a problem they don't understand. The appraiser. Because lending instructions often have the largest stake in a home, greater even than that of the borrowers, they hire appraisers to determine the value of the property. The appraiser selection process is most different today than it was a few years ago. Banks and lender companies in the past could select the appraiser they wanted to use. Now, appraisers are randomly assigned or put in rotation as you may get assigned an appraiser who doesn't know the area well. You must expect appraisal issues to come up periodically within transactions. You need to prepare for the possibility of an unfavorable appraisal. Be sure to keep all your documentation on when you did the CMA. Whether you represent the buyer or seller, you might need to show an appraiser comparables to increase value. Be aware that some appraisers have low-cost, limited-level memberships in the local MLS, and as a result, some don't have lockbox keys. This saves them money but creates an inconvenience for agents on whom they have to rely for access to homes. The escrow closer. An escrow closer is a neutral third party with candidates the preparation and signing of documents. Holds and distributes the funds and records, the documents and deeds. Some states are non-escrow states in which the real estate company provides these services, or in some states, an attorney prepares all the legal documents. Keep with your broker to clarify the standard operating procedure in your area. The escrow closing can also be associated with the title company. The title company researches the prosperous owners and searches for lines and encumbrances on the property. Most lenders require a title search to ensure that the title is clear before they issue a loan for a property. Lenders are in what's called first position. They take control if the buyer defaults on the loan. Good escrow officers keep transactions on track for on-time closings. They also provide a second point of reassurance for your client, staying in close communication throughout the closing process, sharing updates that confirm things are going well, and underscoring what a great agent you are and how lucky they are to be working with you. Avoiding derailment. Like a train, a transaction can get derailed at any point on the track. A closing can be hit by a clouded title, a home not appraising for its true value, a rapid change in interest rates, an undisclosed credit or income issue, or one of countless other unanticipated problems. Choke points cause delays, and delays cause all kinds of problems for buyers, sellers, and agents. Moving plans can get thrown into disarray. Interim housing or early possession requests become necessary. Contingency plans need to be thrown together. Nerves are jangled. The resulting situation can be a nightmare and a productivity killer, even for the most seasoned agent. Most of the problems in closing transactions fall into three basic areas. Stay on the lookout for these problems and solutions to steer your transactions clear of much trouble as possible. Documentation and verification. Lenders need to assemble considerable paperwork and complete dozens of documents based on information submitted by the loan applications. Then they need to verify all information for accuracy by checking the applicant's employment status, funds on deposit, and income level. The document preparation and information verification process takes time. Counsel your buyers that if they fail to submit the required information on a timely basis, or if they turn in a piecemeal, delays are certain to result. Repairs. This is a choke point that good planning can evade. When you're representing the seller, state clearly in writing that only lender required repairs will be done. If you don't, you leave the sellers open to the risk that the buyers will come back with a laundry list of items. A lender required note usually limits repairs to structural, mechanical, or health and safety issues, with not a word about nicks in walls or non-matching doorknobs. Also, consider writing a dollar limit for repairs into the initial contract. The number isn't etched into stone, but it helps keep a lid on the potential amount for which your sellers are responsible. The buyers may still refuse to lift the home inspection contingency until additional lender required issues are dealt with, but the limit helps most of your sellers most of the time. Underwriting of the buyer's loans. This is the stickiest of all closing choke points because the underwritten has complete power to approve the loan. Approve the loan with additional conditions or suspend the file until certain conditions are met, in which case the borrower states the underwriting process all over again. Underwriters check to make sure that the loan meets guidelines for debt ratio, loan to value ratio, credit score, employment history, and other qualifications. They also evaluate the loan based on whether it can be bundled with others in a big loan package that can be held to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or another entity that buys mortgage. Very few lending institutes hold their loans to maturity. Most write loans, realize profits through organization fees, document preparation fees, and margins on basis points, and then sell the loans within 30 to 60 days, recoping the loan amount to sell again as part of the next day deal. If the underwriter approves a loan that can't be resold, the lending institute has to keep the loan in its portfolio. If that situation occurs too often to many loans can't be resold, the lending institution runs out of money to loan, driving it out of business. Of all the choke points in a transaction, the underwriting process can cause the biggest delays. Expect that there will be times when underwriters slow things down with requests for second appraisals or additional documentation of value, especially if the home is in a high price range. After you clear the hurdle, the documents can be drawn up and sent to closing. Thank you so much for listening to Success as a Real Estate Agent. Check out my other videos. Bye.